The hours slipped by, filled with casual banter and hesitant confessions. There were pauses, lots of pauses. But they were easy, natural. The kind where you didn't need to fill the silence with small talk. It was a new feeling, this quiet confidence. We talked about our dreams, the ones we dared to have, and the ones we buried. Fears we held close, hobbies we'd neglected, childhood memories, dreams deferred, regrets whispered. In the solitude of my room, I realized how deeply human this was, how honest, and somewhere in the intricate dance of laughter and vulnerability, I began to feel seen by him, seen in a way I'd never allowed anyone to see me before. There was a comfort in that, a strange sense of liberation. I shared bits of my life story I'd kept hidden for years. The ache of my divorce years ago, the lonely years since then, the yearning to travel, to write that novel I'd dreamed of, the quiet desperation to feel seen by someone, to connect in a world that sometimes felt too cold and isolating, and with every shared secret, every unveiled layer, I felt lighter, like shedding old skin, becoming something more authentic, more exposed. Vulnerability scared me, thrilled me, frightened me. With each whispered word, I inched closer to the raw core of myself, the parts I'd carefully tucked away to protect myself from getting hurt. As the night deepened, we talked less about the distance between us and more about everything else. And somewhere in those endless conversations, I stopped worrying about what my choices would mean. I lost myself in the warmth of his presence, the safety of his gaze, and I started living for this moment, for the privilege of feeling alive and seen. When the first hint of dawn touched the sky, I knew our conversation wouldn't end with the morning light. This was just the beginning. Over the next weeks, our bond deepened, moving from tentative steps to a confident stride. Every stolen moment, every secret shared, every late-night conversation wove a tapestry of connection between us. We discovered a shared love for classic movies, cheesy rom-coms, vintage jazz. He introduced me to his favorite band, a local indie group. Their music echoed the emotions I couldn't find words for. Our weekends were spent exploring hidden cafes, antique bookstores, art galleries, nestled in forgotten corners of the city. The week before last, we hiked to that secluded waterfall we'd seen on a travel vlog. These moments weren't just dates. They were discoveries, explorations, excavations of a shared universe. I felt seen by him in ways no one ever had. And the fear that once held me back receded, replaced by a deep, rich wonder. There was a raw honesty between us that disarmed me, a trust I hadn't known I craved. Each shared glance, each brush of fingertips, each hug lingered just a moment longer than necessary. And while nothing was explicitly spoken, the electricity between us crackled louder than words ever could. I told him about the pottery class I'd always wanted to try. The next day, there were 2 mats waiting for us at a cozy studio downtown. We laughed as our hands wrestled to shape clay into something remotely resembling a mug. He'd bought me a silver necklace with a moon pendant, something I'd admired in a shop window ages ago. It wasn't jewelry, it was memory, a tangible reminder of a connection that felt timeless. One Saturday, we wandered into a vintage bookstore. It was crammed with shelves, creaky floorboards, the scent of aging paper and leather. I found a copy of Jane Eyre, the edition I loved, and he surprised me with a worn copy of Wuthering Heights. We sat on the floor surrounded by books, discussing our favorite passages, the characters who haunted our thoughts. It wasn't just a shared love of literature. It was a communion of souls. Our conversations weren't just dialogues. They were duets in which our lives harmonized, weaving a melody that resonated deep within me. We talked about life, love, loss, dreams, fears, and the intoxicating beauty of simply existing in this world together. There was a depth to our connection that startled me. The silences between us spoke volumes. A knowing smile, a shared glance, a gentle touch. We didn't need words. Our souls conversed in the language of glances and gestures. I learned that he had a degree in philosophy, loved hiking, and that his dream was to one day work for an environmental nonprofit. I told him about my love for French cinema and how I secretly wanted to live in Paris. Our dreams, our passions, they intertwined like vines seeking the sun. Somewhere in between the stolen kisses and quiet corners, The heartfelt talks that stretched into the wee hours, the shared laughter echoing through empty galleries. I found myself falling. Falling not just for him, but for the connection we'd forged, the understanding that transcended age, the love that defied convention. I fell in love with the feeling of being truly seen, of not having to hide parts of myself, of being whole and accepted in a way that was both humbling and terrifying. It was a love I didn't understand fully, but I knew I didn't want to fight it. This feeling, this connection, it was like stumbling upon a hidden garden, overgrown, neglected, yet bursting with life and beauty. It needed tending, patience, and most importantly, love. And in the depths of my being, I knew I wanted to care for that garden, to nurture it, to watch it bloom. And so I embraced it, the feeling, the connection, the love. I let it be my compass, guiding me through the uncharted waters of my heart. This feeling wasn't just a detour in my life. It was a homecoming. It was a revelation. It was the start of something profound. In Richard, I found more than just a partner. I found a friend, a confidant, a mirror reflecting the depths of my soul. With him, I was both challenged and comforted. Challenged to be braver, more honest, and comforted in the knowledge that I was loved for who I was. Our story isn't a fairy tale. It doesn't have a neat ending or a perfect bow. It's messy, complicated, and real. As I sit here watching the city lights twinkle below me, holding his hand, I know this is where I want to be. Not in spite of the complexities, but because of them. In the tapestry of our lives, woven with threads of laughter, understanding, and a love that defies definition, I found a love story that feels truer than any I've ever known. It's a testament to the courage it takes to embrace what sets your soul on fire. Our journey is ours, and as I gaze up at the stars, I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. This feeling, this connection, it's not just a chapter in my life. It's the story I've been waiting for. It's my forever. All this time I thought I was looking for him. Maybe I was looking for myself. This is me, Susan, signing off. I'll be back next week with another story. Until then, drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from tonight. See you then.